Alright, and welcome to this episode. My name is Abel Gray Kantoma. Um, so I will be taking you through. I promise that we are going to go through how to create our part. I'm going to be showing you how to create a part, how to create a custom part. Very important. And then, right, let's just jump right into it. So if I come to this by my context here, you can see by the left hand side of my screen, if I click on my part, I will click on custom part. Now you can see, sorry, let me take that again just to show you something. You can see if I click on this part here, we have the character part, we have the vehicle part. The character part in the sense that you can have a human walking along a path, or you can have a group of persons walking along a path. You can have a vehicle driving along a path. You can have a bicycle along a path. Then we have the custom part, which I'm going to be focusing on mainly in this particular video. But then for the character part, it's way easier. All you need to do is just to click on the part. So if I click on this character part, now you can see we have some very useful tools here, which I have demonstrated earlier before. You can see we have scale, we have rotate, we have move. If you are in this episode, I'm sure you are very conversant with this tool already. The tool I'm basically going to be showing you is this. If I click on this tool right now, which says character part, all this will allow me to do is to specify the part where I want my character to go along. So if I click on my point, I can click and move along any direction I want this to go. So you can see it's actually, I can click, and I can click. Now if you look at this, I will click on escape. Now this is the part. Now it's very tiny based on the scale that I have. Now I can increase the width of this part. So you can see I have increased the width of the part. One of the things I'm going to do in order for me to have a more realistic character or a larger scale of character is to use the custom part, which I'm going to be demonstrating for you in this particular video. But as you can see for yourself, you can see they are looking very tiny because of the scale. But then before we go to the custom, you can see based on my settings here, it's showing multi, right? So so what that means, we are going to be having a combination of Africa, Asia, Caucasian as our character here, right? So I can deselect the Caucasian and the Asian and just leave it at Africa. So every other person on this character will be an African. Okay, so you can as well change the clothing, change the width, which I just did. The density now determines how much or the volume of the traffic along this path. Okay, so you can reverse, that is, if they are moving in from left to right, you can reverse it from right to left. Okay, and then you can turn on the walk and you can as well turn it off. There is going to be more realistic when I use the custom part. So I am going to just delete this part because I I would not want to use this. I will be focusing mainly on the oh, I think I deleted something I'm not supposed to delete. Let me do my Ctrl Z. Okay, good. So I'm here now. If I come back to my context here, now I can come back to my path and I will click on custom path. Now, before I use my custom path, there is something I would like to show you quickly. I will insert my character first, and then or another thing I can do is I can basically click on this character. I already have one character here. I can click on this character. You can see the name of this character is Frank. So I can right click on this character and click on add to user library. Okay, so this is basically how to maintain a specific scale of any character, a vehicle, or your vegetations. If you could remember, when we inserted each of these, the character, the vehicle, the vegetation in our model, we had to scale them. So if you don't want to keep rescaling, you want to keep using a specific character or a specific vegetation over and over again, you can add it to your user library. So it's going to help you maintain that scale. So the scale will be maintained. Okay, so we will not have to rescale this over and over again. So if I come back to my part here and I click on part and I click on custom parts, I can then select the part I want to go. You can see this custom part, I will have to select this, and then I can click on my parts. You can see as I'm clicking, it's following me. So I can make this travel to this, and then I'll click on escape. Now by default, what will happen is that I'm going to have a box like this. This is basically what I'm going to have. It's going to be a box by default. You can see this is the box moving. It's moving, is very tiny. You may not be able to see that properly, but this is the box. Now the speed, I can increase the speed. You can see if I increase the speed, you can see how fast this is actually moving. Okay, so I can similarly just click on this and then come to my user library, and I will select any of the characters that I want to make use of. So if I select Michael, for example, I will just drag this Michael and I will drop it on this box. So what will happen is this Michael is going to replace that box that is actually moving. So you can see Michael now is the one moving along this path. Okay, so this is basically how this is. I can turn off this loop. I can turn off the loop, and I will make it, I can make the loop once. I can use a once ping pong. I can use a loop. I can use a loop ping pong. So however you want to, the delay, you can play around with it. You can also rotate this character. You can see it's at 0 degree. So if I want to rotate this character now, I can basically rotate this character to, let's say, 180 degree or 360 degree rather. So you can specify sorry. So you actually need a very good system to be able to achieve a very great result for every rendering softwares you want to use. It's important you have see that is not giving me what I want. I can just drag this up. Good. You can see I can take it to 180 as well. If I want to change this to 180, 180 degrees, you can see it's at 180 degree, and I can use the reverse. So I can turn on the reverse. So you can see this is now reverse the case. So this is basically how to add a character. You can do exactly what we did for the character for that of your vehicle as well. You can as well create a path for your vehicle, right? You can create a path. If you have a road along this path, you can create a vehicular path. If I come down here and I come back to my custom, I can replace I can just create a path. I can come to my custom path, and then I'll click on this path. Once I click on this, it allows me to specify the direction at which I want my vehicle to go. So I can select, sorry, the system is lagging a bit. You know, the truth is the higher your system configuration, the better. So if you want to have a seamless rendering and all, you need to have a very good system to achieve that. So I'm using a system that has a 4 gig dedicated graphics card and is a quadro. So it's important if you can have maybe up to like 6 gig dedicated graphics card, you will have a seamless result. This is what I have here. Similarly, although it's lagging a bit because of the system configuration at the moment. I can select a car. So most times, another thing you can do is to, although I will not, if I pick any of these cars, they are going to be very tiny. So I will also go to my user library and drag this, and I will drop this here. So you can see, instead of me having a very small tiny car, this is basically what I'm going to have. So this car is driving along this path, right? So that is basically how to achieve all of this in your Lumion, in your Twinmotion software. So in this episode, I've been able to show you how to create a path, how to add your character or your vehicle to a library, or even your vegetation. You can add it to a library. Okay, so when you add this vegetation to your library, it's easier for you to achieve a seamless result. In the next episode, I'm going to be showing you how to actually use a scattered vegetation, or we use a vegetation paint or a vegetation scatter. I'm going to show you how to actually make use of this in the next episode. So I will see you in the next episode.